Good afternoon and welcome back. My name is Sam, and unfortunately I wanted to make some fishing videos this week. However, with the red tide that we had this past week and also the water conditions been really nasty, we're going to be in the kitchen today making another dish. Today's dish, we are making kimchi-jjigae. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to make the kimchi-jjigae or kimchi soup, we need to make the stock. And the stock, we usually make it out of a fish stock. And some ingredients we have, some we don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. Well, today what we're using is called handashi, and that is what I'm using to make the fish stock. I'm using about 2 tablespoons of handashi, and we're going to put it right in I'm using this nice pot because this will help keep it hot. I'm putting about 2 cups of water, and like I said, about the 2 tablespoons of handashi. If you don't have handashi, you can always put fish sauce in there. We're gonna add this daikon radish. It's a Korean radish or a Japanese white radish into the stock, and you only need a little bit. So I'm going to cut that part off, cut that off, and we're going to go ahead and just give it a quick peel. Okay, and then we're going to slice it really thin. You don't want to put too much because then it's going to be overpowering. Okay, slice it really thin, and then we're going to cut it some more. We're going to put that right into the pot of the soup stock that we have boiling. Okay, we'll bring that up to a boil, and then we'll start adding our other ingredients. Now, traditionally, people started making the kimchi soup because the cabbage or the kimchi, after it gets old, it starts to get really sour, and instead of throwing it away, they turn it into soup. So this is like a sour, spicy, a hint of sweetness inside the soup, and it's great during the middle of winter. So we don't have any kimchi. Eventually I'm going to show you how to make some kimchi, but today I had purchased this kimchi, and I know where I purchased from. I picked out the older bottle, and it's pretty sour. It usually is, and that's why I'm using this particular one to make the kimchi soup. Now that we have the stock boiling over there, I'm going to use bacon. Normally we use pork belly or just plain pork with the skin on it, but I'm going to use bacon. I like the bacon. Gives it a nice flavor. I'm going to cut it, not the whole thing, about half of the package of bacon, and I'm cutting it to 3 bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to put that right into the stock. Now, I'm making a seafood version of the kimchi-jjigae. I like to put seafood in my dish, not just pork. So what I'm going to do is, I got some ice, and we're making an ice bath. And I got some blue crabs that's going to go in to make a stock as well. And the best way, the humane way to kill the crab is to put it in an ice bath. And what that does, it slows it down quickly, and then you can go ahead and clean It'll freeze them immediately. I'm using today about 5 blue crabs. You don't have to use the crabs. You can use whatever you want. But we're gonna put that in there. As you can see, the crab that's in there is already stopped moving. That's how fast this works. And we're gonna give it a couple minutes to soak, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean them. So it's been a couple minutes. The crab's been soaking in the ice bath, and I'm gonna show you guys how to clean that. So what we normally do is you flip it upside down. You can get a fork and right here, this is called an apron. We're gonna pull that up. You can go ahead and break that right off. And then what I do is I grab the legs and I press and pry off the shell. Just like that. Okay. And after that, I pull off the face and the gills and all the other pieces in there, so that all you have is a crab. There you go. Now if they're really dirty, you can take a sponge and go ahead and clean the bottom as well. All right, so that's how you clean the crab. Pull the apron, break that off, hold the legs while you're pulling the shell right off. Pull the lips, or whatever you want to call them. We're going to add pepper. I'm going to just use one big long pepper. It's not really hot. It's just for flavor. You can use hot pepper if you want it more spicy. I'm taking out the seed. And then we're just gonna slice that up. We're also gonna add about 6 green onions. And I cut it about 2 to 3 inches. The thick part you might want to cut in half just so that it cooks evenly. And we're going to use tofu, and this is a very firm tofu. I like to use the firm one. If you don't like it firm, they have medium and they also have soft, whichever one you want. But with the tofu, you want to drain it. You're going to drain the tofu, and then you want to give it a quick rinse. And then what I do is I cut it into nice chunks. So now that our stock has boiled, we're going to go ahead and put in the bacon, and we're going to put that in right on the bottom. And like I said, you can put just plain old pork if you wanted. I like to use bacon. I like the flavor that it gives. So next we're going to add the kimchi, juice and all. I'm going to use the whole jar. Also going to use the Korean hot pepper paste. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon in there, and that will help enhance that flavor. So now we got the kimchi in there, we got the bacon, we got the hot pepper paste in there. We're going to need to bring this back up to a boil. Alright, our kimchi-jjigae is now boiling. So at this point, we're going to start adding I got about 2 tablespoons of sugar. Mix that in really fast while it's boiling. Now, of course, you have to determine how much to put in based on how sour your kimchi is. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, so you're going to need to taste. Always taste your foods. And put that in there. Now we're going to throw in the blue crabs. We're going to add to that the hot, semi-hot pepper that we chopped up. Going to add the green onions. Shallots. I'm going to add about 10 of Little Nick's clams. Like I said, this is a seafood. Kimchi-jjigae. About a ½ pound of mussel. And about a ½ pound of shrimp. Now you can put whatever seafood you want, but this is what I like in mine. I'm gonna cover that and let that cook for a little bit. Okay, now that's been boiling just under 10 minutes or so. Well, it's starting to reboil anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. I'm gonna add the tofu. Wherever we can get it in. And I also got a couple of eggs that I'm going to put right in the middle of this. And a very important ingredient is hot sesame oil. And we're just going to put that all over the place. And of course, it all depends on how spicy you want it, but it also gives a really nice, good flavor. So, I'm gonna close that up, turn the temperature down to medium, and let it boil for about 10 minutes, and it'll be ready to go. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes or so on medium-low, and it's time to taste. Look how good that looks. Wow. That's amazing. Like I said, you always want to taste your food, because depending on how sour the kimchi was, you're going to want to decide for yourself how much sugar or any other ingredient that you might want to add to it. Now, I'm going to eat this with just plain steamed rice. You can also eat it with, I like to also eat it with noodles, noodle soup, the ramen noodle soup. Taste that. Taste how that kimchi turned out. That's delicious. Try it out. Like I said, this is my seafood style kimchi-jjigae, kimchi stew, kimchi soup, whatever you want to call it. Try it for yourself. Let me know what you think.